Boo's last message is finally coming to light, and what it suggests about 3-6 Mafia's satanic secrets might change how you see the group forever. For years, people brushed off the devilish imagery as just marketing, but was it for show, or was she silenced before she could say too much? So before the headlines and before the RIPS, there was a shift. Something in Gangsta Boo's energy had changed. To fans, it felt subtle at first, just a different tone in her captions, a far-off look in her eyes during her last few appearances. But those closest to her saw it more clearly. For example, Juicy J felt that one of the conversations they had might be the last.
And I ain't gonna lie, man, like, this is just real. It's scary, but it's real. When she walked off, something was telling me, like, she gonna die, you know what I'm saying?
This wasn't just casual talk. Those close to Boo felt a shadow hanging over her, a kind of premonition she couldn't shake. But why was that? And what caused the shift? Well, her longtime friend Delmar Lawrence said it best in one of his interviews where he was about Boo.
Very big blow for her. She was a daddy's girl, and it was many nights I prayed with her and just talked her through her grief.
After losing her father, Boo spiraled into a heavy depression, one that never really let up. But here's where things get confusing. Even though she was hurting, she was also planning big moves for 2023. New music, new stages, new goals. She wasn't just sitting in sadness. She was moving like she had something to prove, or maybe something she needed to finish. In her final posts, Boo shared clips from a Memphis concert she performed at with her brother, smiling. But fans swear the vibe was still off, like she was forcing the smile, like she was saying goodbye without saying goodbye. And when one post mysteriously vanished from her page a few hours after going live, some fans started asking all these questions. Was she talking about the industry, her circle, herself? Nobody knows for sure. But that line hit fans like a warning wrapped in poetry. And it ain't just the fans saying something was off. People at the show the night before her death said she looked tired, like her body was there, but her spirit was somewhere else. But here's where things get real eerie. Now that Boo is gone, people are re-listening to her music with a whole new lens. Gangsta Boo didn't just rap about darkness, she embodied it. Her music was confessions, like she was telling us about the real demons behind the scenes, only she couldn't say it straight. On her track, Meet the Devil, Boo ain't hold back. The visuals, straight up demonic with red lighting and all the shadowy figures, it all screamed bloody murder. Some brushed it off as horrorcore flair, but others are saying, what if it was all a metaphor? What if Boo was confronting something she couldn't name in public but could only express through her art? This ain't new for her either. She would literally call herself the Devil's Daughter. She talked about it during her Up Rocks interview.
The Devil's Daughter. He was back there. Yeah.
I call myself Gangsta Boo, the Devil's Daughter.
That's deeper than just repping the crew. That's identity. To some fans, that's where it gets spooky. Claiming that name ain't just saying you're part of a group. It's saying you're part of a legacy tied to darkness, temptation, and something way beyond music. See, Memphis rap been dancing with the occult for years. From blues to rap, legends talked about deals with the devil. An age-old myth, but for Memphis artists, it felt all too real. Boo was living that legacy, mixing myth and reality in a way that made fans question what was hype and what was truth. Whether she was rapping about snatching souls or bringing pain, there was always a double meaning. On the surface, it was hard bars, but underneath, some say she was pouring out her struggle, her trauma, her fight with something she couldn't shake. So was it the industry, grief, or something way darker that she got caught up in years ago and never fully escaped? Cause here's the twist. Gangsta Boo never said she believed in Satanism, but she did say she was interested in the dark side. She never hid that fact, and when she was asked about it, she kept it 100. She told Talib Kweli she was interested in those topics.
How did you feel about that mythology and those sort of darker themes coming into 3-6?
I was totally with it.
And that has people wondering, maybe she didn't just study it. Maybe she saw something that made her believe it was real, which brings us to the part nobody expected. When Gangsta Boo started pulling away from her roots, distancing herself from the 3-6 Mafia identity. Some say that's when the clock started ticking. Some insiders believe that's when the powers behind the scenes turned their eyes on her, like she crossed a line or knew too much. So let's get into the context of 3-6 and how Gangsta Boo parted ways with the gang. First off, let's start with the name. And let's be real, 3-6 Mafia didn't exactly pick a safe one. From the jump, the 3-6 branding had folks whispering, "That's 666. That's the number of the beast. That's not a random flex. That's a statement." DJ Paul and Juicy J tried to clean it up over the years, saying the name came from the 6 original members. But then they leaned into it, made it part of the brand. Mystic styles, world domination. When the smoke clears, 6661. That ain't just clever, it's calculated. You add in the eerie beats, those bone-chilling chants, and bars talking about possession, demons, and the afterlife, and you get vibes straight out of a seance. And it wasn't just on one project. This was the foundation of their identity. They pioneered that horrorcore lane, where reality blurred with nightmares. Lyrics about devil worship, blood rituals, and voices in the shadows weren't just thrown in, they were front and center. Songs like "Tear the Club Up" might sound like hype tracks, but layered under all that chaos, a darker energy. Even Juicy J had to address it in interviews. "We do not worship no devil, man. People ask me that shit every day. There's no way you could have had our success worshiping the devil." But here's the thing, why deny it that hard if it was just for fun? And fans ain't forget the times they joked about rituals. In one throwback interview, DJ Paul laughed off the rumors and said, "We just made that devil music that the churches hated." But here's where it gets weird. Former collaborators, producers, and industry insiders who were around during those early years have hinted that the vibe behind the scenes wasn't always just for show. If it was all just a gimmick, why do some insiders say they still feel haunted by what they saw? Why did Crunchy Black say that he never sold his soul, but can't say anything about the others?
I done did a lot of shit, I done met a lot of motherfuckers, but I ain't never sold my soul. My grandma told me that shit ain't worth it.
Here's where it gets real unsettling. Gangsta Boo wasn't the first artist to brush up against something dark in the industry, and she sure wasn't the last. See, every time an artist dies suddenly, especially after they start making noise again, the same theory creeps back in. Was it a sacrifice? Boo's passing hit different because she wasn't washed. She was just starting to rise again. New shows, new plans. 2023 was supposed to be her year. So when the news broke, people didn't just mourn. They started looking for patterns. That's when the rabbit hole opened up. People started linking Boo's death to a string of artists who all shared the same eerie fate, speaking out or acting strange right before everything ended. Look at Prodigy from Mobb Deep, one of the first to openly call out the Illuminati, the hidden hand in hip-hop, and the forces he claimed were controlling the game from behind the scenes. He died in 2017, suddenly, while hospitalized. To this day, fans say he was silenced. Then there's DMX. He battled demons for years, but he also talked about them. Industry demons, spiritual warfare, interviews where he warned people, they don't want you to win, they want your soul. And we can't forget Ye, the one artist bold enough to scream it from the mountaintops. He told us that someone from the industry sacrificed his mom. And what did people do? Call him crazy, all until the pattern starts making sense. And Gangsta Boo fits that pattern too well. But it wasn't until Boo's passing that people started noticing what's at play. It all went down around New Year's Eve 2022. Boo was out in Memphis having a good time with her brother Marcus Curtis and catching a show by fellow Memphis legends 8 Ball and MJG. She wasn't just there as a fan, she was about to perform too, showing love to the city and the culture. Before she hit the stage, she had one last convo with her lifelong partner Emmett Flores. They exchanged love and safety vibes. He told her he loved her. She sent him a throwback pic from New Year's 2017, real sentimental stuff. They were supposed to link up again a few days later, but fate had other plans. That night, Gangsta Boo and her brother ended up partying, and things got deadly. They took what they thought was white, but it was laced with fent. Marcus overdosed but survived after some hospital care. Sadly, Boo wasn't so lucky. Early on January 1st, 2023, police found her unresponsive at home. They tried to bring her back, but it was too late. The whole city and the hip-hop world went into shock. Fans, friends, even her close homies like Daz Dillinger shared how vibrant and full of life she was just hours before. She was funny, she was alive, she was doing her thing. Then all of a sudden, she was gone. The rumors and speculation started flying. Some thought maybe it was a hit, some said it was just tragic overdose. But one of her closest people, Crunchy Black, who's like a brother from 3-6 Mafia, spilled some heavy tea on Vlad TV. He said whoever gave her that laced stuff had to have been trying to do her dirty on purpose. Someone with a personal vendetta.
I kind of felt like somebody else put that on her. You know, some people that was around her.
And get this, Crunchy Black pointed fingers right at her own brother, Marcus. He believes Marcus had some shady reasons for what went down. Apparently, Marcus blamed Boo for his past jail time and was salty because she couldn't always send him money. This drama goes way back to a 2009 robbery charge they both faced, where Marcus ended up going to jail, and Boo kept her distance and denied any involvement. Crunchy Black basically said Marcus was mad and holding Boo responsible for his situation. Instead of focusing on his grind and music, Marcus got caught up in the drama, which might have played a part in what happened with the fatal overdose. Before all this tragedy, Boo talked about a new project called The Blueprint and was hyped to work with new producers and young female rappers from Memphis. Her latest single, Sucker Free, had fans hyped for what was next. But now, her legacy is frozen in time, a legendary MC gone too soon, leaving the hip-hop world mourning and asking what could have been. After Gangsta Boo passed, the vibe changed instantly, not just because we lost a legend, but because of how quiet everything got. No cause of death for months. She died on New Year's Day, and the autopsy report. But that didn't drop till mid-June. And when the report did come out, it said what a lot of people expected. Accidental overdose and a mix of substances was involved. A tragedy, no doubt. But something about the timing and the way it was handled didn't sit right with folks. During those months of silence, all we got was respect her privacy and a handful of tribute posts. No deep dive, no details, just a clean-cut story that left too many questions behind. And those questions started multiplying. News outlets barely touched the satanic rumors that had always surrounded her. And 3-6 Mafia, the media that once ran headlines about their devil music, now played it safe. The deeper story got scrubbed before it could grow legs. But when you piece it all together, the dark, gritty lyrics, the way her vibe kept shifting like a storm brewing, the wild ups and downs with 3-6 Mafia, and then that sudden tragic exit. It's like Gangsta Boo was sending out a coded message all along. Her whole catalog ain't just bars or beats. It's a map through pain, survival, and secrets too heavy to say out loud. From those haunting horrorcore beats and occult references, to the raw, unfiltered storytelling in tracks like Hard Not to Kill, Boo was laying down a truth wrapped in metaphor and menace. She was tough as nails, but still fighting battles beneath the surface, showing us the struggle to keep her crown in a world that wanted to see her fall. And peep this, artists like Boo, especially women holding their own in a male-dominated shadowy scene, often get discredited or misunderstood when they speak on things others don't want to face. People try to write them off as just dark rappers or controversial without ever digging deeper into the pain and power behind their art. Then there's the group's story, the chaos, the symbols, the tragedies that haunted 3-6 Mafia's legacy. It wasn't just theatrics, it was a real-life reflection of what they lived through and what they tried to channel through their music. And the way Boo's life ended fits too many sad patterns we've seen with artists caught in this world, where the spotlight shines brightest right before it fades to black. Delays in info, cleaned up reports, rumors of deleted messages, it all smells like a silence forced on her, not a natural goodbye.